Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to watch a video here at All I See Is W. In today's video, I'd like to talk about MicroStrategy. We'll cover the latest updates with its earnings reports. We'll go through updates around some changes with MicroStrategy. Most of you are wondering, is now a good time to buy, hold, or even sell MicroStrategy? I'll cover my updates using technical and fundamental analysis. And just with today's announcement, right after the stock market, MicroStrategy reported fourth quarter earnings per share of about $3.20, which was worse than the estimate analysts of 12 cents of $3.08. So the revenue for the quarter came in at $120.7 million versus the consensus estimate of $123 million. So a slight underperformance there. In fact, MSTR stock price closed at $336. And with the last 3 months, it's still up at 24%. Now, MicroStrategy saw positive earnings per share revisions and negative earning per share revisions in the last 90 days. However, with all of the slight underperformance here, I think that with the FASB taking into consideration, we're going to see much better results in the Q1 2025 when we have FASB rules implemented in that quarter. But I think that with all of that, now in hindsight, it's great to see just with the updates from MicroStrategy in that they just went ahead and made updates with their overall company. What we're looking at here is just a visual of the United States. Now, really, we're beginning to see most states turn orange here. In fact, orange is a new black. I mean, Bitcoin is on the run. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe. Also, follow me on X. You can find me at All I See Is W here. I would really appreciate the support. Now, we're beginning to see a lot of states turn orange here. In fact, Utah is winning the race. I mean, they're about to implement strategic Bitcoin reserve, especially after going through the process of getting approval from the Senate. I think next up we'll have like Arizona and Texas as the top three leading states to get it going with the strategic Bitcoin reserve. So great news here. This visual here, Bitcoin is heating up, going from red to orange stage two of the cycle. And I'm anticipating 200,000 in 2025. So send it. Bitcoin is going to go to new heights here. Key takeaway here is, just where we are with the red dots here. We're eventually going to see this convert to like orange and yellow dots, which would be indicators of high relative strength index where we're at that Bitcoin bull cycle. So just with the post having that happen, we're still not out of the woods yet. Bitcoin hasn't broken out, and 2025 is going to be a really great year. And what does that mean for MicroStrategy with their big time HODL number? I think MicroStrategy is really going to benefit. So just going through updates today that was announced, MicroStrategy, they actually rebranded their company, now focused on just having strategy versus MicroStrategy. And they've shifted their entire focus to Bitcoin, becoming the world's first and largest Bitcoin treasury company. This rebranding includes a new logo featuring the Bitcoin symbol, which you can see at the end here, and the introduction of new key performance indicators. We'll go through that. BTC gain and BTC money sign gain. These KPIs are designed to track the growth in Bitcoin holdings and their value with a goal to achieve a 10 billion Bitcoin money sign gain in 2025, despite a reported net loss of 670 million in Q4 2024. Strategy holds over 471,107 Bitcoin, valued at more than $45 billion. This value here is just going to keep going up. I mean, it's great that the company is taking on this new direction, sparking discussions within cryptocurrency community about the strategic implications of such significant corporate pivot towards Bitcoin. So this lovely, beautiful picture of Michael Saylor taking a photo here with that new branding strategy, Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the new website that Michael Saylor's team launched here. So Strategy Bitcoin, you can find it, strategy.com. One of the interesting things is you'll see the overall updates with, Bitcoin price, the current market cap, the 3 month percentage return, their total HODL rate here of 471 1,107. Bitcoin net asset value, you see here as well, including their debt uh, over Bitcoin net asset value. So, in terms of just their 1 year return, you see here 586%. So, big numbers here. It's great to see, all of these metrics being recorded here on their website. Let's take a look at, just Bitcoin related metrics here. So, I think one of the key things here is, Bitcoin gain year to date, 12,983, which is their KPI that they're monitoring. You see here BTC dollar gains year to date, 1,254 million. Now you see here just Bitcoin gain in 2024, you see that number increasing. But overall, I mean, Bitcoin numbers continues to grow up. Bitcoin price, we know that's going to just keep going up. As I mentioned, 200K. Can you imagine as the HODL amount grows as well as Bitcoin price appreciating? Strategy is going to be just the biggest company out there. I mean, they're bigger than the states. I mean, they have more Bitcoin than like countries out there. So I think this company is going to be like very dominant here. There's no second best. I mean, that's a true statement. And just taking a look at the metrics just based on assets here. I mean, MSTR, I mean, you see these year returns here, 586%, just the historical year, just returns here. You see 2,624%. Comparing that to the Mag 7, I mean, there's no other company that can compare, even with, ETFs like QQQ, IBIT. Nothing compares to MSTR here. So what does this all mean? Overall, their market cap, they're going to be in the $1 trillion here. So there's no way for MSTR to like just halt its growth. It's going to exponentially increase and not even increase on a linear fashion. That's just the old way of looking at traditional finance, but I do think that MicroStrategy has really just transformed how we look at, just, financial engineering here. Just taking a look at just the overall history of acquisitions here, just continuous buying of Bitcoin. So you see here over the course of the last 5 years, we see consistent dollar cost averaging. I mean, buying at like the price of like less than 10,000. Doesn't matter when, strategy continues to buy Bitcoin, and that's why they have the biggest hodl right now. I think their business model has been working and they've been resilient, and now the numbers truly show. And strategy will be the biggest market, cap company at one point, catching up, bypassing Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all those companies, and eventually will be like, the top dog. Let's take a look at the historical data just with the purchases. So when you scale back here, I mean, MSTR was buying, Bitcoin at prices of like 11,000 back in 2020, $10,000, even buying back in 2021 when we saw the price appreciation. And also 2022 when we were in that bear market cycle, buying in, at $19, it's 19,000, 17,000. 2023, as we saw that, that reverse pattern, they continued to buy along with 2024 onward, throughout the year, including in 2025, bringing up the total HODL count of 471,000. But the key takeaway here is, MSTR bypassed having $100,000 Bitcoin, around the time of like mid 2021. I mean, companies now are just trying to even like break through 50,000 where we currently are at like 2025. So MSTR has created that big time disparity, and I believe that's why they're winning right now in this race. Let's take a look at postings on X here, on the MSTR forum here. So Warren Buffett has now accumulated, you know, so much cash, and there's rumors circulating that he is potentially looking to tender an offer to buy MSTR with the capital, according to Teddy Bitcoins here. Another posting here just from British Hodl here, you know, MSTR earnings are extremely bullish in my opinion. We have increased sensitivity to Bitcoin FASB and thus increased volatility incoming and thus increased liquidity. It's a much better speculative platform for Bitcoin than any other equity offering. And post these earnings, we're going from strength to strength, especially as now Wall Street can finally model and justify the trade based on true retained earnings. MSTR to 1 trillion is now closer as MSTR transitions over the next few quarters to an essential to own growth stock. Time to jack up leverage on the balance sheet and volatility ready in time for Q1 2025 results. Every earnings is now in its own flywheel in a bull market. Let's take a look at another posting here, from Adam Livingston here. MSTR will have more economic power than the entire nations. MSTR doesn't need the government. The world still thinks MSTR is just a company. They are wrong. MSTR is not a stock, not a software company. They're emerging economic superpower, and eventually it will have more financial influence than entire nation states. The transition has begun. Governments print money, MSTR buys Bitcoin. There's only, a limited amount of Bitcoin. That's the big difference here. Every government on earth funds itself through inflation and taxation. They print their own money. They force their citizens to use it. They debase it to fund their survival. Fiat money is dying, and as fiat collapses, the governments that rely on it will collapse too. MSTR is not playing this game. It does not need to print money. It does not need to tax anyone. It does not need to manipulate financial markets to survive. MSTR is becoming a corporate state. It will operate like a sovereign financial entity. They've become a Bitcoin bank treasury here. So I think overall, nation states cannot catch up. MSTR is really separating themselves. MSTR has a multi-year head start. MSTR is buying Bitcoin while governments print fiat. They're outpacing every nation in Bitcoin acquisition. By the time they wake up, it will be too late. A company that saw the future before nation states will hold more Bitcoin than they do. Governments at one point will need MicroStrategy. MSTR will dictate terms to fiat nations. So huge bullish notes here. And I think that, companies that hold Bitcoin will outcompete governments that print fiat. MSTR is ahead of the game. Let's take a look at technicals now. So just based on my drawing here, just looking at, just the technicals, we do see some, consolidation here. At one point, it did reach $280. I think we're at that tightening up coiling here. We're beginning to see a bullish technical pattern, bullish flag starting. We're going to see like a cup and handle vertical, V-shaped pushback up. I'm anticipating as we head into April, we could very well see 750, very well in the month of like Q1, February, March, we can very well see retest back into the 550 range. But I say come April timeframe, as Bitcoin price starts appreciating, breaking through that 130, 150K barrier, we're going to start seeing it ramp up to $750. But overall, end of year 2025, as Bitcoin breaks all-time high of 200K, MSTR could very well break through that $1,200. So there you have it. I hope that you found this video valuable. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate you turning on the bell notifications for more updates. Hit the like, subscribe, comments down below. Tell me where you're from and what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching.